be much better because Usby is blowing by her defender and getting open looks in the basket.
The first quarter, even between these two teams, 17 apiece, but Minnesota went 0 for 10 from three-point range in the second quarter, completely cold, and that's how they find themselves in double-digit deficit. But Jasmine Powell starting the second half instead of the game gets the first bucket since 4:15 on the clock of the second quarter.
Down 10 coming into the second half of the game. That's exactly what Minnesota needed to do. Get a quick bucket just to get some confidence.
Minnesota started the game with a couple of turnovers, so already much better start to the second half. And they force a turnover on the other side, a miscommunication with Littlefield and Poole. Each team with 6 turnovers apiece. Powell trying to take it into her hands. She will not complete that layup. And a magnificent block by Deja Winters. She leads the team by 5 coming into this game. The 5'11" guard leading the team in blocks.
She leads the team in blocks, deflections, all the above. The timing so excellent from 3 and gold.
You talked about it, Megan. She wants her defense to speak in this conference.
And getting up and not fouling. She came over from the opposite side of the floor and just timed that absolutely perfectly. Boom! Block party for the Winters.
I often think about what are the coolest, misfeeling blocks, Megan, and I think that's one of them. Just flying by, you don't get that fast break layup, and my team's gonna take it. And a foul, Deja Kelly, that's gonna go against Scarascalio.
You're talking about cool blocks that happen. I can't speak from experience, but I imagine being able to get up in the air like that and swat someone has to feel good. Take a look at the blocks leaders, by the way, in the Big Ten. And Deja Winters standing at 5'11". Just coming over, timing that perfectly once again. I mean, I'll tell you what, Kennedy Todd Williams didn't even know what happened. It happened so quickly. She looked confused.
Megan, I don't know if this makes you feel better or worse that there are 2 guards on that list of Big Ten leaders.
Hey, I love that for the guards out there. Yes. For the 6 feet and under club, that's good. It's good for the brand.
Yeah, 6 feet and under club. Yeah, I'm right at that threshold, so I kind of feel like I can, root for both teams.
Sure, absolutely. I'm not, so rooting for the guards, but appreciate a good post player, obviously.
Well, Carolina building this lead yet again. 3 free throws for Deja Kelly. She had 4 points at the half, was really a non-factor as their leading scorer. And Littlefield is going to draw a whistle. That's number 3 on her.
And Littlefield has to be careful. She made a face as soon as she knocked over Scalia on that play, almost like a football play on the open field.
Almost like Megan on the turf at Huntington Bank Stadium?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Some context, yeah. Football be like basketball courts more. There's a little more room to move.
Here's Winters trying to match the offense to the defense.
And the rhythm really good for Winters. She had her feet set. That little dribble penetration set her up perfectly.
And boy, did the Gophers need a long-range bucket to fall, but Kelly heating up for Carolina.
Minnesota can't get in a scenario where they're trading buckets with Carolina right now, especially when the score is a 10-point deficit. Have to get a stop, score, stop.
Scalia wide open, yes! Minnesota on a roll to start the third quarter. The crowd getting into it here at Williams Arena, even with the Rochester fans from southern Minnesota. Poole able to net 2 there for the Tar Heels. Winters feeling it, she drops another one.
Things are heating up on Minnesota's side of the ball. Winters had a defender in her face that time too.
Minnesota 3 for its last 3. They ended the second quarter without a bucket in 4 minutes. And another block by the Gophers sends them on the fast break 2-on-1, and Poole will send that away emphatically.
Oh my goodness. Carolina getting back in transition defense to get the stop. Take a look at Winters. And actually kind of gets stuck. It wasn't even a screen really, it was just Hubbard trying to get through, and then Scalia wide open, and she's so open because of the ball reversal, shifting the defense, allowing that open look at the top of the key.
Minnesota down by 10 at the half, now a 2-possession game. Winters. Little heat check there.
Take the words out of my mouth.
Todd Williams is blocked one more time.
I have to know what Jasmine Powell and Deja Winters are eating for breakfast, because my goodness gracious, they are getting up in the air. I'm getting big defensive stops. Powell out of nowhere. That's going to make you cry, getting hit in the head off the backboard. Jasmine Powell like Superman.
Tomorrow, don't miss a doubleheader of action in the 2021 Big Ten ACC Women's Basketball Challenge. First, the Spartans battle number 24, 6-1 Notre Dame. Then 8th-ranked Maryland takes on 4-2 Miami. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern, presented by Disney Parks on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Very exciting matchups, and they're continuing tonight as Minnesota closing a 10-point gap at the half. Shooting 4 for 7 in this third quarter.
Sometimes it's as simple as making shots.
Kelly and the Tar Heels running out of time. Usby's first shot attempt this third quarter, and she will miss.
The defensive intensity much better for Minnesota in this quarter. In fact, they've held Usby. That was her first shot of the quarter for her. Look at the 3-point numbers right there, 75% in this quarter right now. Massive momentum builders knocking down 3-point shots.
North Carolina 2 for 6 in this third quarter. And that's going to be a whistle, a moving screen against the Gophers.
Well, let's take a look at what happened here. And then Michaud just totally moves her body and trips up.
It's so tempting, though, to stick out your knee, but you can't do it. And that's going to be an offensive foul against Deja Kelly of the Tar Heels.
Yeah, you got to keep your head on a swivel over here. We got offensive fouls and moving screens left and right. This time, Powell guarding Kelly. And you see Kelly using that arm bar, trying to create space. And the second you move your body out in an unnatural motion, the officials are going to get you for an offensive foul.
That is number 3 on Kelly. She joins Carly Littlefield with 3 as well. Godiva Hubbard for 3. She has got it again, moving up those charts.
Hubbard does such a good job finishing her shot. She stays put, knocks it down with the free throw. I don't like when coaches tell you to follow your shot. No, finish your shot and make threes.
3 for 5 from 3 in this game. Usby going to work with the spin. Will not be denied her miss. Goes back up to work, and the Gophers prevent another opportunity. 9-2 is Minnesota's run as they get back.
Man, Usby just taking it to another level. Doesn't get the bucket, but gets the defensive stop. The Hubbard, speaking of stops, Carolina can't stop her from beyond the arc, and everyone is feeling it in the barn.
We cannot, but they were 0 for 10 from long range in the second quarter. 4 for 5 here in the third. A huge turnaround. Winters, a big part of that. Thought she was going to pull the trigger again.
And there's such a level of comfort as Powell gets fouled going to the basket, having Powell on the floor. You can see that everybody in a gold jersey has settled into their roles. They understand what to do offensively, defensively. Powell plays such a major role from a leadership standpoint on this team. And because she started this third quarter, they've completely been able to get back into this game.
That is foul number 4 on Carly Littlefield. Powell good on the first. Again, she was not in the starting lineup today with the team called an internal decision, but it has not felt like there's been any kind of change of routine for her.
And interesting that Courtney Barnhart is going to keep Littlefield in, who has 4 fouls.
Well, they are a little bit banged up. They have 2 freshman players of their top 3 recruiting class who are injured, Kayla McPherson and Tiani Key, and then also a transfer from Michigan, Ariel Young, not available too, as Poole goes to work. You see that post presence in the paint.
Poole did a great job using her body, finishing the move, and staying determined and focused getting to the basket.
That ate into an 11-2 Minnesota run as Winters trying to regain this possession. Powell will come up with the loose ball. Winters has that block by Poole. She is pumped up. She's been a strong presence today.
Well, Carolina with the ball screen defense has really flustered Minnesota, and that was an example of doing just that. Powell was able to get a broken play going, but the ball screen defense from North Carolina has been really excellent in this game. And just a little flat hedge and just kind of disruptive from Poole that allows Minnesota to trip up just a little bit.
Jasmine Powell will turn it over, looking for that no-look pass. I was excited where that play was going to go, but instead it will go on the other side. Minnesota leading this quarter 16-9. After they were outscored by 10 in the second quarter, it's been a magnificent turnaround for the Golden Gophers, considering how cold, ice cold, Minnesota winter cold they were in that second quarter.
That's really cold, Sloan.
That's why I use that metaphor. Littlefield, she will draw the foul on Powell.
Littlefield has stayed so active despite having 4 fouls. I'm really impressed with how hard she continues to play despite being in a little bit of trouble. She continues getting into the paint, just causing all sorts of problems for Minnesota.
Still a 3-point game. Carolina holding on to this lead. Well, we know everyone across the nation looks forward to the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and this is how things are right now. Still very much a close ball game. The Big Ten can possibly tie things up here tonight with the Minnesota Golden Gophers, but a shout out to Purdue and Janae Terry getting a last-second win over Georgia Tech, a Sweet 16 team last year.
That's a big win for Purdue as well. Going to help them to get into net ranking talks, which we're still in December. Powell getting the bucket to go. Big time move, one-on-one finish for 4 in gold. But we're only in December, so we don't got to talk about net rankings just yet.
Not just yet, but I'll be excited when the time comes. Usby prevented from getting into the paint. So she'll try another 3 and misfire. Rebound to Scalia. Energy on the Gophers side. The Barnes crowd getting into it. No whistle there as Scalia hits the deck. Powell gets right around Usby, leaves it for Miss Shaw. No 3-point play, but still a great opportunity.
Powell has taken over this game for Minnesota, getting it done, scoring herself, recognizing the defense. She blew by what was somewhat of a miscommunication by Carolina, had an open lane, but yet dished it off to an open teammate, drawing multiple defenders to make that an open lane. Unselfish play. She has 6 assists so far in this game, and it has gotten this team back in it.
Well, we know that Jasmine Powell is an explosive player. For example, against another win they had over a Power 5 team out of 2 this season, she had 21 points in the second half in overtime. The entirety of her points against Arizona State. So we know how explosive she can be on the floor, not just in how she plays, but how she produces.
And great that Lindsay Whalen has a guard with that type of ability to distribute, but also explode and score double digits like that.
That was the second personal foul, by the way, on Usby. So nothing to be too concerned about there just yet. 2:30 to go, and there you see the defense of Winters knocking that away. They know how big this matchup is, Megan.
And Winters is great with the deflections. The deflections are massive for teams to get because it forces your opponent to reset the offense, and you can therefore reset the defense.
Oh, Eva Hodgson, hopefully she's okay. Might have taken a shot to the face. Maybe she'll need to get a Caddy Sissoko mask. I hope she is okay. And that's going to be the 4th on Sissoko.
number 10 in blue on your screen, trying to get a back screen. And she may have gotten hit in the face by Sissoko's face in that mask, actually.
Oof.
Now that you say that, 10 right there, and just boom, gets hit as Sissoko tries to turn around and make the move.
Well, she's staying on the floor. I hope she's okay. Even more bodies flying. And that's going to go the same direction.
That's going to go against Powell. Got a lot of contact here. The Boo Birds are out in the barn, coming off the double screen. And on that angle, Powell just looks like she charges through Poole.
Timeout called on the floor. A 1-point game here at the barn. You can see that physicality really amping up here, Megan, because this is an important matchup, or rather it's under review.
So they're going to check to make sure there wasn't an extra elbow thrown on that play.
Okay.
So Powell, number 4 in gold on your screen. I want to just make sure that, and it looks there like Hodgson may have equally thrown an elbow as well. There might have been 2 elbows thrown.
I think on these replays, it looks like normal physical contact. I think Poole was setting a solid screen, and these falls were just because of the
hard
impact.
Play.
Exactly.
Sure. Again, looking to see if that elbow goes to the head.
Do you think that we could see a different call once they're done with the review?
Potentially, with the head. Again, it's a rule put in place to make sure that players are staying safe. They want to make sure that there's no extra limbs flying to that's outside of an unnatural bodily movement.
Well, they should be looking at the same reviews you've just seen, and hope to get an explanation here in just a bit, going to the coaches first, of course.
And now if this is viewed as excessive, this could be ruled a flagrant foul.
It's being explained to Courtney Banghart, third-year head coach for the Tar Heels. Originally called a personal foul on Jasmine Powell, her second. Free throws here for Eva Hodgson. Lindsay Whalen looking for another explanation. Just outside of the frame, there it is. And the first is good by Hodgson. And Minnesota basketball. Still a one-possession game after those free throws and after the review. Still listed as a personal foul on Powell. Scalia behind the back. Quick closeout on Winters for good reason as Michaud goes to work. A big move by the freshman.
Big move and such a strong body as well. She has no fear going against Anya Poole for North Carolina.
She said about her minutes increasing steadily this season to be a major part of the rotation in the front court, that she's proud that her teammates and her coaches have the confidence in her, and that she's frankly still learning her role as a freshman too.
It's big as a freshman to get a minute, especially in important games like the one we're watching here.
Hodgson travels, and that'll be a turnover for Carolina.
Michaud working early, and then you get that ball reversal, which allows Michaud to reseal, opens up to the basket, and look how strong she is just finishing down there. She's going to be a nice player, especially in Big Ten play, which is so physical.
Minnesota looking for its first lead since 10 seconds left of the first quarter, and Usby gonna make it a little bit harder to reach.
That was a great play. She fooled me sitting here because I thought Usby was gonna dish it off to the teammate, but then keeps it and uses her height to get over Powell for the layup.
Shaw going to work again, the hard move. She draws the foul, and what a significant presence for the Gophers inside.
Michaud has been huge for Minnesota over the course of the last 30 seconds. Offensively and defensively, look at Usby coming in the fake break. Look, passes it off. What a move! Confuses everybody on the floor, but stays composed and stays balanced to not draw a charge.
That's where you really see her athleticism, and she is credited being a three-sport athlete in high school. She won a state championship with the Rochester Lords softball team. She also played soccer as well. Was close to winning potentially a state title in basketball too, but she said that's what has kept her healthy and kept her as a well-rounded athlete.
And you can tell she's so strong as well and able to make really smart plays while maintaining that body control and balance.
Michaud, by the way, the freshman, the last 6 points for the Gophers. Asia Kelly looking for Hodgson. Just wait for that three to drop, but it doesn't that time. Winters on the move now. Gophers looking for a solid close of this third quarter after a lackluster second, and Hubbard goes underneath for two. That is their first lead since it was 17-14 late in the first quarter. Usby trying to quiet the crowd, and Todd Williams will draw the foul on the offensive rebound.
Minnesota has to box out. That cannot happen this close of a game coming in, but look at Hubbard get through and, like you said, gets underneath Usby to finish with the right hand on the left side. Does a great job of avoiding getting blocked by switching that hand and coming over to the underside hand towards the basket.
Hubbard with 11 points. She is the third Gopher in double figures. She's seen her minutes go down this season to about 20 per game compared to 32 for her career, and she acknowledged it head on. She said, I need to be playing better. And Lindsay Whalen's doing the right thing, and I'm proud of my teammates that we have the depth that they can step up when my shot isn't falling, but what a fantastic game for her.
That type of attitude comes with experience.
Shot clock is off for Powell. 10 seconds to go. One-on-one with Todd Williams. She'll pull up. Beautiful arc. Rebound to Poole. At the buzzer. And that's going to go in for Deja Kelly. My gosh! A half-court shot to close out the third if it counts. It's brought to you by State Farm. When you want the real deal, like good neighbors, State Farm is there. 50-degree day in Minneapolis in December. You love to see that, but a magnificent game inside the barn. Big Ten ACC Challenge going down to the wire.
And this is about as good as it gets. We just had a buzzer-beating 3 to end the third quarter. This is going to go down to the wire. Minnesota has to make sure they lock in defensively, and Carolina cannot let any sort of foul trouble happen to some of their stars.
Usby kicks it out. She was 1 for 6 in the third quarter, had 15 points at the half. And in the passing lane is Winters. And she'll go all the way to finish for the Gophers.
Winters didn't have numbers. There were 3 Carolina jerseys back, 2 Gopher jerseys back, but yet she finishes through 2 defenders, slicing her way to the hoop.
She's got 11 points today as Anya Poole will take care of things under the rim. Deja Winters worked her way into the starting lineup after a magnificent performance at the Battle for Atlantis. 16 points, 10 for 21 from 3, and she has kept up that level of play. Hubbard looking for another 3, that's off target. And Usby sneaks out ahead for an easy transition, too.
That's a great job by Usby. That is unacceptable for Minnesota this late in the game. You cannot allow a player who has a motor like Usby to get a wide open breakaway layup.
19 points for Usby, her career high 23, happening just a few games ago against TCU as Powell in the paint will draw the foul.
Powell doing a nice job creating and getting herself to the line. Take a look at this bucket, man. First off, the anticipation of the steal goes in with the wrong hand too. However, keeps the ball nice and high. Carolina not trying to foul in that situation. She actually had a relatively easy look to the basket because Carolina didn't play great transition defense there.
Even though there were 3 Tar Heels
That was a little
surrounding her.
that was a little HTM defense. Hope they miss.
Is that a Joe McEwen favorite?
It's a Megan McEwen favorite, which is all that matters, Sloan.
I was wondering if you had picked that up down the line. It had been ingrained into you.
Yeah, you can't be playing HTM defense, especially in the fourth quarter of a close game.
Usby going against Caddy Sissoko, who spent a lot of time on the bench in foul trouble and cleaned up by Kennedy Todd Williams.
And Carolina needs to make sure they get the ball inside and try to get Sissoko in a fouling situation.
Powell from long range, that bounces out. Long rebound to Scalia. Here is Winters for 3. Just rims out to heartbreak.
I mean, you should get a half point for those types of shots, right? Man, down to the basket and pops right out.
Heartbreaking for the fans, for the team, and most especially for the shooter.
This is a point of emphasis this year amongst officials, really watching post play down low. You can't keep an arm bar there. You can make that initial touch, but can't continue to maintain that contact.
So an opportunity for North Carolina with the ball again. Usby at the high post, looking into Poole, taking her time against the 6'5" Helgren, and foul on the rebounds. More very physical play as both teams battle right underneath the basket. That's going to go against Carolina, Todd Williams.
I think Sissoko just breathed a sigh of relief because she was involved in that play and coming high. And you see just the way the ball bounced and Todd Williams came across Sissoko's body.
Sissoko playing with 4 personal fouls on the other side. Carly Littlefield also with 4. She is on the bench for Carolina. Kelly stopped. Todd Williams will line up at 3, and she drains it. Todd Williams now up to 8 points. That's her first 3 and first attempt today.
That was a great sequence by Williams because she committed the foul, but then got a steal and then knocked down a 3. And Carolina showing signs of life, fighting back. And Todd Williams showing up in a big way, hitting 3s, 10-point game. Boards for Carolina, leading to 10 second chance points. And Todd Williams getting it done on the defensive side and leading that to 3-pointers. Can't happen. Minnesota's defense has to be better.
Hubbard trying to answer back into this run. Minnesota took the lead a few minutes ago for the first time since the first quarter, and then quickly erased by Carolina back to a double-digit lead. Powell thinking about that pass. She traveled again.
Especially in these situations, those unforced errors cannot happen late in ball games like this. And Powell knows it. You saw her face as soon as that call got called. Both teams have actually taken pretty good care of the ball in this game, though.
They have. Minnesota started out a little bit shaky, a little bit sloppy, but they have very much quieted down. Powell will go to the bench, as will Scalia. Presumably a quick break to try and get them back out for the home stretch.
And this is, I think you're onto something there, exactly. But it's going to be really big for Minnesota to get a defensive stop on this possession from a momentum standpoint.
Carolina starting this fourth quarter on a 9-0 run. Minnesota's scoring drought stretching closer to 3 minutes.
And Carolina went on a 9-0 run with their point guard, Carly Littlefield, on the bench in foul trouble.
Kelly screen from Poole as she works through multiple defenders. Wild shot, missed shot. Big board for the Gophers. They go into the post to the freshman, and she delivers for the Golden Gophers.
Alana Rose Michaud going to work down low. It has been a battle in the paint between her and Poole. Gets the ball at the Big Ten logo, then just doesn't even think about it. Makes the move to the basket. It's quick, it's deliberate, and most importantly, it is strong.
She has a career-high 14 points. She is 6 for 6 from the foul line, 4 for 6 from the floor. This is a coming-out game for Alana Rose Michaud. And that was also Minnesota's first bucket in 3 minutes, and it comes from the freshman. Hodgson trying to maintain this lead. She is thwarted by the Minnesota defense.
Back-to-back really big rebounds from Michaud.
Winters, yes! And the explosion in this building as Minnesota again climbing back from double digits. 6-0 run for Minnesota. What 10-point lead? Usby going to work against Smith. Smith gets a piece of her.
Minnesota finally able to get some offense going, all because of the freshman Michaud getting it done with the and one. Then comes up, gets 2 big rebounds. Transition 3, so difficult to stop, and Winters shooting with so much confidence, gets her feet set. Nobody more excited than the bench, really.
Love seeing those smiles, the genuine excitement. It still feels new too, Megan, to have these fans here in the stands too. Minnesota's played 9 games this season, but still a great atmosphere here at the barn as Usby misses and a rebound to Sissoko. Sissoko playing with 4 fouls. As Minnesota looks for its 3rd Power 5 win this season. Sissoko throws it out of bounds.
Looks like a miscommunication. Smith needed to go down to the eye level of Sissoko as she drove baseline to make that pass work.
4 turnovers in the 4th quarter for Minnesota compared to 1 for Carolina. Still a 2-possession game, Carolina on top. Hodgson dials up a 3, front iron. She falls into her own teammates. Raised floor, be darned.
Like we talked about, Carolina was asking some questions about the raised floor. They hadn't really seen it yet this year. I don't think there's an ACC team that has a raised floor in their arena. You have to be really careful, by the way, when you're playing on this floor.
I still brace when I see someone getting too close.
Got to have a lot of dexterity and awareness of where you are.
We love it in the Big Ten. We love the barn raised floor, but you're right, it might not be as welcome.
Yeah, it's my favorite arena I played in as a player in the Big Ten.
Oh, wow. It is special. It is a special place. Winters the screen from Sissoko. Nice pick and roll. Sissoko dropping it off for Michaud. Another 3-point play. Huge game for the freshman.
Alana Rose Michaud coming in hot for the Gophers. Sissoko does a great job not drawing the charge. She's got 4 fouls, has to be careful. Michaud makes herself available to her teammates, stays in an open area, catches that pass. She almost wasn't ready for it, but she was available. Man, oh man, that is 2 and 1s for the freshman in this 4th quarter.
19 points, 6 for 7 from the floor. She's blown past her career high. And her 2nd miss from the foul line today. Minnesota on an 8-0 run, and it is fueled by the freshman from Michigan. Littlefield, she's got 4 fouls to her name. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Littlefield, too long, rebound to Poole. She has been steady today as well as she attacks, and she gets a 3-point play and stomps with her excitement.
We are just having a massive battle royale in the post. Anya Poole from that opposite elbow, taking it strong to the basket. And the stomp celebration in the end, because she is stoked to finally get one of her own after watching the freshman get 2 in this quarter.
Lindsay Whalen at media availability earlier this week was asked by a reporter just about recruiting and does she see post players? Is the post still relevant? And she said, absolutely. And you see it right in this game.
Are you kidding me? Have you watched the Big Ten lately?
I know.
Some of the best post play in the country.
Absolutely. As Sissoko will attack, draw the foul.
Sissoko again with 4 fouls. I can't emphasize it enough because she's been such an important piece for this Minnesota team offensively and defensively. But nice recognition, realizing she may have had an angle to get to the basket to draw the foul.
That is going to be foul number 3 on Anya Poole. So the foul situation for Carolina. Littlefield with 4, Todd Williams with 3, Poole with 3, and Deja Kelly with 3. The Gophers in a little bit of a better situation, except for Sissoko, who has 4. Courtney Banghart already working with a shorter bench than she liked, and that's actually what she told us, Megan. She said, if we don't get in foul trouble, we feel pretty confident, but it's feeling a little tight here as we get later on.
You ask every single coach what their defensive philosophy is. They're going to tell you, defend without fouling.
Littlefield drawing, dishing, and a rebound to Michelle. And Powell just gonna throw it up, and a rebound on the weak side to Hodgson. That's leading the fast break. Hodgson attacking all the way, that was knocked away, but staying right here with Carolina.
Hubbard doing a nice job stepping in and making a move on the ball to force that to be a out of bounds play versus a foul.
Littlefield inbounding. Played under Banghart at Princeton. Hodgson weaves her way through. Finds Poole. Why not?
You know, you're allowed to use the glass. They're still going to count the bucket if you use the glass and you call bang.
Carolina building this lead up again. 2 possessions and great numbers for Anya Poole. Double-double for her.
This has been an excellent game in the post. You know, Minnesota has so many guards that can score, but the coming out party for freshman Alana Rose Michaud and then the defensive battle between Anya Poole and her has been so fun to watch in this 4th quarter.
3 minutes to go in this Big Ten ACC Challenge matchup. The 5th in history. Carolina's won each of the last 4. Minnesota with numbers, it's Hubbard. And a foul on the rebound.
Well, that's the shot Minnesota wants, and that's who you want shooting it, especially in a sort of crazy, wild situation. And there's the foul underneath. Michaud just takes her arm and just throws Hodgson practically to the Big Ten logo.
It's tough because you want your strong post working hard, getting position, getting rebounds, but it's a tough whistle. That's going to be the 3rd on Michaud. Snatched away. Littlefield loses it to Powell, but Carolina gets it back. Usby dropping it off. And Carolina going to slow things down. Usby into Poole. She's got a huge mismatch, and even though Powell comes up with the ball, she'll get the whistle.
Powell being a little pest down low, but post players can't bring the ball down low because that's a perfect invitation for guards under the 6 feet club to get in and make plays. Powell doing a nice job timing that well too and not cracking the arm. Gets her hand on the ball.
That's exactly what you want to see from your 5'6" point guard. She's not giving up that fight in the post. She's going to use her savvy and think this post player will bring the ball down, like you just said.
Both teams are playing so hard right now defensively as well. It's been really fun to watch.
But it's also been a great performance by Minnesota. This is a North Carolina team that is 6-0. They don't have comparable schedules. North Carolina blowing out teams by 35 points per game, holding 2 Power 5 teams to under 50 points. That's Washington and TCU, and here's Minnesota not giving up this battle.
North Carolina's averaging opponents 44 points a game, and already Minnesota's been able to go past that.
It's 5th in the nation so far as a whistle, as Deja Kelly ends up on the floor. That's going to go against the Gophers. And that's going to be number 4 on Powell. Monday, catch a women's hoops doubleheader. First, the 6th-ranked Hoosiers take on the Lady Lions, and the Gophers are back on the floor here in Minneapolis, as will Megan and I, against the Huskers. Coverage begins Monday at 6 Eastern, presented by Disney Parks on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Kelly tonight approaching her season average. It has been a struggle, 4 for 11 from the field. And this is a run for Carolina 7-1, or rather 8-1 over the last 2 minutes. The timeout is called on the floor. Still within reach. The history in its 14th year took a pause due to COVID last year. The Big Ten picking up its first win in 2019, 9-5, hoping to repeat again this season as Powell will attack. She can't finish, saves it to Michelle, who will get the easy 2, and she is over 20, blowing past her career high.
And Lindsay Whalen's motioning for her team to step up and press, wants to pick up full court, which is the right thing to do.
Kelly slowing things down with Carolina holding on to the 7-point lead. Five on the shot clock for the Tar Heels. Kelly, 4-3. That'll be a shot clock violation, so they do take time off, but Minnesota probably needs to work fast at this point.
And you got to get a quick bucket here if you're Minnesota. Whether that be a drive to the basket from Powell or any type of pick and roll situation, has to be quick.
Winters attacking. She's good off glass, and that will be a 3-point play opportunity for the 6th-year grad student.
Winters has done nothing but made big play after big play in this game. Has that quickness advantage, such a good slasher getting to the basket, but still maintains that upright focus on the basket and absorbs just a little bit of contact from Poole, who walked into her space.
That is the 4th foul on Poole, the 2nd player for the Tar Heels with 4 personal fouls. Winters up to 16 points, 6 for 15 shooting. She's done it offensively and defensively, and really making it known that she can play in this conference. Full court pressure from the Gophers. Approaching 1 minute left, a 4-point game. Kelly with it, being guarded by Scalia. Here is Usby, handing it off to Todd Williams, who will attack, and she will get a chance for a 3-point play.
Big move by Todd Williams this tight of a game, coming off the screen, and just takes that contact from Jasmine Powell, and Powell's going to foul out on that play. Big blow for Minnesota. Great recognition by Carolina to take it out of player who's got 4 fouls.
That is a tough loss for the Gophers. Powell, 6 points. She struggled to shoot 2 for 12, 0 for 4, but also had 7 assists, 3 rebounds in this one.
And that's
pause on the floor.
That stat line you mentioned there, the 7 assists, jumps out. The offensive foul that they were looking at, that armbar from Todd Williams, but they did not view that as a need to raise that to a flagrant foul or an offensive foul. I was looking up for that potential offensive foul.
So Todd Williams, as originally called, completes the 3-point play. Minnesota down by 7, quickly running out of time. Alexia Smith has it. As the Gophers watch the seconds tick off, here's Winters. She will lose it. There will be a turnover for Minnesota.
Credit Carolina and their defensive intensity on that possession. Not allowing Minnesota any sort of open driving lane or any sort of look at all. Ball pressure was applied heavily.
There you see the turnovers this quarter. Overall, they've been pretty much even, 14 to 12, Minnesota leading that category, but we've seen quite a few late for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So after that foul, Littlefield shooting free throws. Both teams in the bonus at this point. And she's gonna try and ice this one.
Proud of the way Littlefield's played, especially in the second half. She got herself in some foul trouble if she misses the first one, but has still come in and made really big plays for the Tar Heels team.
It was great to hear about the story, the background between Courtney Banghart and Littlefield, about how when she told Littlefield she was leaving Princeton for this job, she said, "I don't cry often, but I did in that moment. It's hard to break that." And then she said, out of respect for the new head coach at Princeton, kind of too, by 30 points last year, it's not getting easier for the Gophers.
No, and I mean, you take a look at that Big Ten schedule coming up. I mean, each one of those teams has so many weapons, and I mean, Nebraska was averaging more than 100 points at one point this season. They can flat out score, and Jazz Shelley had a triple-double the other day.
7-0, the best start since 2014-15 as the Gophers trying to get something going. Hubbard, the three-point play opportunity with 23 seconds left. That makes it a 4-point game.
Great execution by Minnesota, trying to get a bucket early, get to the basket and score so you can put yourself in a position to get a three-point play. And Hubbard doing a nice job staying deliberate to the basket and still keeping balance as she goes up.
That's going to be the fourth foul on Todd Williams. And that free throw makes it a 5-point game, misspoke before. Hodgson. Shot clock is off, and Scalia going to intentionally foul her. This made a big difference in this game, Megan, and it was a half-court shot by Deja Kelly that made it a 3-point game.
And it has made such a difference, and not only from the standpoint of the scoreboard, obviously, but from the standpoint of momentum in this game. Carolina went absolutely nuts on the bench, and it gave them life again after Minnesota had done a great job making this run and getting themselves back in this game.
I think there is a difference when you go into the fourth quarter tied versus a lead.
Oh, 100%. And credit North Carolina, because they have sustained every single hit that Minnesota has thrown at them. I mean, this has been a great game, though. Minnesota was down 10 at one point, came back to tie the ball game. I mean, this Minnesota has no quit in it.
All but one player for Carolina has scored in double figures in this game. That makes it 81-76 with 9 seconds left, and Carly Littlefield is going to call a timeout with 9.9 seconds on the clock.
And that means that
this victory today,
Minnesota's going to have to try to get a steal as quickly as possible, best case scenario, but then foul because of time.
It's unfortunate to see things potentially go North Carolina's way, because it has been such a huge week here at the University of Minnesota. Of course, the football team winning back Paul Bunyan's axe. We have Stephanie Samity, the player of the year in Big Ten volleyball for the second straight year. This would have been a great thing to add. The Gopher men's basketball team 6-0, a win over a Power 5 team on the road. Kelly is going to be quickly fouled after they inbound it. 9.1 seconds left. And big free throws here for Kelly. This season a 74% shooter. She nets the first one.
Going to be really important for Minnesota to box out in this possession. They cannot allow an offensive rebound if Kelly misses.
And of course, you have Poole and Usby battling for that potential rebound, and will be taken by Hubbard quickly. goes up the floor. Winters with it now. She's going to have to pull up. That won't fall through, and that will do it here at the barn. 82-76 is the North Carolina victory on the road. They improved to 7-0.
That was a great game of basketball. Excellent execution by the Tar Heels at the end of the day. They played really hard. Deja Kelly with a massive half-court shot that gave them so much momentum to head into that fourth quarter. They're going to have a great time in the ACC this year.
Alana Michaud finishes with 20.